feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Great to be back. Great to be back. It has been 2 very long days with this Supreme Court pretrial hearing, and I wish I could tell you more about it, and I can't. But all I can tell you is that they have been very, very long. Yeah, it's been a sometimes it feels like you're getting nowhere, but that's uh that's something for the court to work with. So got to do that. I don't know how much I can tell you. Um, yeah, I'll just say it's done for now. I don't have any more court days now until later in Feb. So unfortunately, these are things that I have to go to. Otherwise, when we actually get to the trial, I won't know what I'm talking about for different cases that we're doing. So it's very important that I attend these pretrial hearings so that I can be like have knowledge of what we're going to talk about at different trials for different things and different people, different cases. So yeah, because we've got a few coming up this year. We've got two, three, four. I think we might have like four coming up just in this year. Um, the big story out of tonight, I think anyway, is this woman in Logan County in Oklahoma. Spring Weems is her name. I know, bit of an interesting name out of Oklahoma. We're going to talk more about it. She's 49 years old. They found her body inside of a trash can at a neighboring home. They have arrested her teenage son over it. So we're gonna talk about this. Let me get set up, and we'll talk about it. All right, how you guys going? It's been a really busy couple of days. Let me get this set up. Yep. Hey, good to see you all. Good to see you all. Hey, I want to thank someone that sent in a donation, and I appreciate it a lot. It's my friend Lynn D. Lynn D, I saw that come in just after we left the last live show that we did, and I very much appreciate it. I hope you know I do, and for your continued support, you know, throughout my whole channel time. Actually, this is a good time to bring this up. Lindy has always been one of the great supporters of this channel when she can, and she's always tried to make a difference in keeping the show going, and I really appreciate it. And I think back to a story that I guess I can tell people now. When I moved into this home that I live in here, uh, Lindy and a few other people actually helped me move. I didn't have the money for a bond, and I didn't have the money to put up my stuff uh, when it happened. And Lindy, a few other people helped out with that, and I've always appreciated that for years. It's not a story I've been able to tell until now because a lot of people didn't want me to tell the story, but I will tell it now. There's so many kind people that helped out with that. So, without them, I'd be homeless. So I do appreciate it. And again, recently, Lindy helping out again with this trial cost that we're going to have to go do in April. I was speaking to the Supreme Court today, and I was like, "Oh, do you think we're going to be able to go into Melbourne for this?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't think so this time. I don't think we're going to be able. I think it's only going to be like Ballarat." And so it sounds like this one for Patrick Stevenson that's coming up in April. It sounds like that one is not happening in Melbourne and it's happening in Ballarat, which I think I knew it was going to be there, but sometimes they have ones in Melbourne, and then sometimes they have ones in a regional place, sort of like Aaron. Aaron Patterson's one was in Morwell in the Latrobe Valley. So this one's going to be out in Ballarat, so quite a while away. Yeah, it was really nice. I don't think I've ever told that story before, but there was I have the list. I always keep it. I just don't know if I have it on me right now. Let me double check if I've got it. Is that one? I have it somewhere. I have a list of really, really lovely people that helped out with it. I don't think it's on this notepad. Um, yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it at another time, and I'll say thank you to all of them. Yeah, so many nice people. And then there, I always think of this funny story when we started the channel. Not long after we started it, I was sitting here and we're doing a show, and one time I picked up a drink. I had a drink that was somewhere near my computer right here, and I picked it up while you guys were watching a video, and I turned the camera off like this. I turned the camera off, and while you guys were watching a thing, I was like, I'll get a quick drink in. And I don't know why it happened, but I opened the drink and it sprayed everywhere, all over my computer, all over my monitor, and it drenched all of my computer stuff and it killed my keyboard. I have quite an expensive keyboard. It's a really good one. It's an LG, and it killed it. Like the water got into the electronics and it stopped working. And there was a lot of really generous people who bought me a new keyboard at that time. So I think there's some people who think like I don't remember these things, but I really do all the time. And like I can think of another one. We never used to have a camera. We never used to have a webcam. And there was a really nice lady, and again I have her name written down somewhere too. She bought our very first webcam. And so like, I do remember all these people over the years. Um Gail said the cat had knocked it over and then you picked it up and forgot it had fallen. That's probably what happened. The cat's probably knocked it over and it fizzed up, and then I just forgot and opened it, and it just absolutely drenched all my computer crap. So yeah, so like I want people to know that like Lindy, when she supports the channel, I do remember even dating back like 3, 4 years ago, I still remember the people from doing various things that helped the channel. So I hope people know that like I don't forget as much as I feel like I forget sometimes. I don't. I do remember all the nice things that people have done. Um, okay, let's talk about this lady. Let's talk about this lady because this is pretty sad. 49-year-old woman, and they're saying it is her adopted teenage son, and he's the one that is accused of the murder. I'll play you a quick little video here. This is from Coco, so KOCO, and this is in Logan County, Oklahoma. It's just in the north of the city. So if you know Oklahoma City, it's just sort of like northeast of the city, sort of mostly north, but like a little tiny bit east. All right, I'm gonna play this video for you. If we can make it large, we can.
Well, guys, of course, we can only report what investigators tell us, and trust me, there are a lot of questions. But I can tell you, a teenager is now in custody. The victim here is a woman believed to be in her 40s, and I'm told that same woman was also the homeowner here at the property.
When they had spoke with those teens, they had noticed that the woman who owns the home was missing.
OSBI telling us a teenager has been arrested after a woman was found dead in a trash can outside a home in Logan County Wednesday in a neighborhood near Bryant and Simmons Road along Treviso Trail.
The update we have is that we do have one teen who is in custody at this time. We do not have names at this time. We do not have ages.
The Logan County Sheriff's Office spoke to us before OSBI gave us that update. Under Sheriff Troy Dykes details how the call came in.
It was dispatched to us that two juveniles were fighting in the roadway. The initial call was there was weapons involved.
And after those deputies found the two teens, a chilling statement was made.
One of the parties involved made a statement that said, "Mom's in the trash can."
The investigation has only gone on a few hours, but we are still waiting to hear the identity of this victim, the circumstances that led up to her death, and how the teens are individually connected to her.
The connection between everybody that is involved is still trying to be determined, but we do believe it is all family.
And here's the time frame on how long the victim had possibly been in the trash can.
We don't believe it's too long, but we don't know if it's today or yesterday.
Now, guys, you can see right here behind me, it's still a very active crime scene. OSBI is still processing things as we speak. I'm also told it'll be tomorrow at the earliest before we have any kind of update.
Yeah, so sounding like Thursday tomorrow, they're planning on doing a press conference. There's not a ton known right now. Wait, Thursday? Today is Thursday. Ping. I'm getting lost in my days. Today is Friday, Thursday for you. But they're looking at doing a press conference either tomorrow, which will be Friday, or Saturday, as far as I know. And if I go here, I can show you a photo of her. Here's a photo of this woman. She's in the middle here. Obviously, these are three guys that you can see. And I know a lot of people are very enamored with the house that she lives in. Here's the home. I know a lot of people think this is like some really expensive home. It's actually not very expensive. It's a very big home, but they live in a very almost rural area of Oklahoma. And this house is only $350,000. This is pretty cheap for a home of that size. So it's not like $1 million home or anything like that. It's $350,000. And they're saying here that this woman, Spring Weems, she is a very religious lady, and that she is a Christian woman, God-fearing woman, and she is very heavily involved with the church. Not only that, she was also very involved with her son's hobby, and he had a hobby with wrestling, and there was some strange sort of disturbance or disagreement that she'd had. Here's another photo over here with the OWA, which is the Oklahoma Wrestling Academy. And there was some sort of disagreement she'd had with people. I don't know what it means, but she's saying here that she had been commenting on the Barton County Association of Churches, saying things like, absolutely heartbreaking to witness as a Christian what Elswick and his manager did. You will answer to our Father God in the end of your life for not only the homeless you shunned and refused to help, but for every soul that your actions turned away from Christ, because this was the example you left. I will pray for you. And she's saying that a local Christian food pantry was mean or would not help homeless people. So she was very upset by it, saying that Christ wants Christians to help everyone. Not, there is no sort of dress code or, acceptance type thing, that it's for everyone. And she was very mad that they were sort of choosing and picking who to help. That, they were sort of shunning people from this food pantry in the local area. There's the thing. She's saying it was the most unchristian thing that she'd ever seen from a Christian nonprofit. And she said, shame on all of you. You will answer to our Father for this in the end. I pray for your souls. So sad, mind blown. It is very, very interesting. And she also had a kid who was involved with I don't know if this is the one that's been charged with the murder or not, but there's one of her children. Um, so he was involved with a part of the church called Switch, which, from my understanding, is like sort of like a youth ministry sort of like a youth outreach type program, and it was with a thing called Life Church. And I'm not sure if this is the same child who's been arrested, but there's two teenagers and they're only a year apart. One is 16 and one is 17. So they are still in the preliminary investigative stage of this particular murder, unfortunately. But as we know, it was one of the children that is alleged to have killed his mom and dumped her in a neighbor's garbage bin. Then him and the other child were fighting, and this fight was over one of them killing the mom. And that when the cops were called because they were fighting in the yard, cops came down, asked one of them what was going on, and they told them, "Hey, my brother killed my mom." And that's when everyone sort of found out what was going on, that she had been killed, and that it most likely was one of her children. It's we read far too many of these stories about children killing their own parents. It's especially this one. This one is an adoptive parent. So the mom adopted these children and tried to help them, and they did this in return. Now I'm going to take you out to K4, which is a local news station out there. I don't know if this will work. Yeah, it might not. We can actually read the stories now, but sometimes the videos do not work. Hold on. Right here. I'm going to go to K4's YouTube channel and see if they have this video. You know, it's interesting. K4 many years ago used to have their news site open to the world, and recently they've shut it down and made it American only again. But luckily, Ping can now access it. Hopefully this will load for us. Even if it is a bit slow, apparently. Come on. Oh, there we go. It'll load eventually.
More on that shocking breaking news we've been covering all evening.
A woman murdered, her body found in a trash cart outside of a home in far North Edmond. And tonight, investigators are sharing new details.
News 4's Tanner DeLeon just back from this scene in Logan County. And Tanner, within the last few hours, you have now learned there's been an arrest in this case, a teenager accused in this crime.
Yeah, we hate to say it, we hate to hear the details. And as we continue to learn more, this is what we can tell you. When deputies first arrived at the home near Simmons and Coltrane, they found two teens fighting. Both were then detained, but after speaking with them for a couple of hours, one was let go, the other arrested.
So yes, we've located a body. It is located in the trash can, and it's confirmed that it is a fatality.
A quiet neighborhood in far North Edmond at the center of attention Wednesday afternoon. Investigators say it all started with a call to 911 about two teens fighting.
This was called in by family. There was a lot of family here during the disturbance.
But they quickly learned the fight wasn't the main problem. Deputies say it was actually a result of what happened moments before.
As soon as we arrived, there was a statement made that the body was going to be in a trash can outside of the home.
That discovery prompted the Logan County Sheriff's Office to call in the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. And after questioning both teens,
We do have one teen who is in custody at this time.
state agents are not revealing many details about the case right now, like what led the teen to allegedly murder the woman and how or if the two knew each other. Neighbors speaking with us off camera about the tragic news.
Tragic because it involved youth.
Great neighborhood.
Yeah.
Kids are always running around, riding their bikes down the street, golf carts down the street.
Authorities tell us the investigation is ongoing, but stressing there is no threat to the community.
We're going to try to find justice for this case.
She was in. Now, state agents tell us they are not releasing the names of the victim or the teen they arrested as of right now as well.
I wonder if they will charge him as an adult or not. You know, being that they're almost at the age of 18, they may give a push here to charge him eventually as an adult. I know it was they said here, McKee, who is with the OSBI, says we do have one teen who is in custody, but they're not revealing which teenage son it is at this point. I did read that they had been charged with murder. Let me see if I can find the charge for you. Yes, the victim's adopted son was arrested on a complaint of first-degree murder. That doesn't mean he's been charged or arraigned as of yet. That just means he's being held for that crime. So right now, he's not charged. It just means they think it is his crime, and they're going to keep him in custody because of it. Hey, Missy, how are you? Missy said, please keep me in your prayers. They are removing my eye next week and I'm scared and I'm all by myself. Missy, I don't know if she's here. Is Peekaboo here? I don't know if Peekaboo's here tonight. We should put you in touch with Peekaboo, because Peekaboo had a very similar operation and you might be able to get some, like, sort of, she would know what you're going through. I don't know if I have Peekaboo's email anymore. I don't know. Peekaboo Cockatiel, if you're here, email me, my friend, and if you're okay with it, I don't want to assume, but Peekaboo is such a lovely person. Maybe we can put you in touch with each other, because yeah, Peekaboo Cockatiel a couple of years ago had a very similar operation, and I think she was very scared too, and she's now living her life, maybe for a different reason to why you're having your one removed, but she lives her life. She watches true crime. I think she might have even got a job now, and she gets on with her life. So you'll be okay. We'll pray for you, and we'll try and get you some support. We'll try and see if Peekaboo's willing to have a chat with you, because she can sort of tell you, like, how it goes and what to expect, and how she lived through it maybe. So if she doesn't reply to this, um, if someone has her contact, tell her to email me. SPL said, what great stories of your history of your channel, 2 times catching up. We've had some funny moments on this channel. I'm hoping this year is not going to be as dramatic as last year. That's what I hope. Last year was so dramatic. It was pretty bad. Missy Motormouse said, oh, you're Tangled Chords. What happened to your other name? What happened to your other name? Yeah, I think she's just Peekaboo now, if I remember. She took out the cockatiel. I saw her around a few weeks ago. I think she's just busy with her new job. But I'll dig through my emails. I'll try and find her, and I'll get in touch with her. Okay, well we'll do that for you. Okay, all right. Tangled Chords. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we've had some crazy stuff happen. There was a lot of people when Mrs. Ping was sick that helped out, and that happened last year. This year when we go to trial for Patrick Oren Stevenson, I think it's just going to miss. Mrs. Ping's going back for another surgery this year, but I think it's going back. I think it's going to be after the trial, so thank God. She could be. I don't know. I don't live her life. I don't. She could be. She could very well be a mod on another channel. I don't know. What channel would that be? I mean, is it Web Sleuth? I don't think she's a mod over there. I don't think she's a moderator on that one. I don't know. You'd have to tell me. Woman of Steel. Hey, how you going? She says, "Oh no." Yeah, it's I mean, it just is was what it is. We knew last year when she had the other surgery that she would have to have another one in a year, and that year is coming up very quickly. We're already about 7-8 months from surgery for the first time, and then she's gonna have to have another one. So Gayla said 2 people on WebSleuth were chatting last night about having an eye removed. Oh, everyone's having their eye removed. Is it some sort of new fashion? Gen X or Gen Y fashion? Is that what's going on? Okay. Well, if you see her, can you let her know to contact me? And I'll have a chat with her. Warner Steele said she'll snap back faster this time. We hope so, because this time she won't be as ill. Like, she's in a pretty good way right now. Like, she's in a pretty good health right now. So she the recovery should be easier this time because she's not super ill. So Kelly said you were mentioned on another channel I've been watching. She's an Aussie too. I'm glad I'm being mentioned by people. I don't know who I don't know who that might have been. Warner still said, has she gained some weight? Yeah, she has. She looks more like she did before she got ill. So she's a lot more healthier than she was. And yeah, so she has to go back for another corrective surgery. We don't quite know yet. The doctors are sort of saying she can have it anytime. So they're saying they're happy with her progress and she can have it whenever she wants to, but she sort of doesn't want to, if that makes sense, because she just got finished getting better from the last surgery. So she's like, well, I don't want to do it right now because I just got back to feeling good. And she's like, she's going to leave it for a while because she's not ready. Mrs. Kim says, yeah, but this next surgery, I don't want to say too much. I'll just say the surgery she had last year was an emergency surgery because the first surgery she had last year failed. So she had a surgery originally in mm, April, May, June, late May. She had the first surgery and it failed. And then a week later, she had to have an emergency surgery. So the the condition she's in now is from the emergency surgery. So the surgery that she has to have this year is a correction surgery to put her back to the way she was. She basically has to have corrective surgery this year, but it's not as big of an operation as the one she had last year. The one she had last year was a monster operation. She was under the knife for like 9 hours or something. Like, it was a really long surgery. This one they reckon will be much shorter and it's a lot quicker, and she doesn't have to be cut open as much, and there's a whole bunch of things. So um, hopefully it'll be quicker, and it won't be while we're at trial. So yeah, she did it twice. The first surgery she was under for 8 or 9 hours. That surgery failed within the next week. So over the week after the first surgery, she was not getting better. She was actually getting worse. So she kept going down, and the doctors are like, "What's going on? Why is she not, like, getting better?" She was actually getting more ill, and then they figured out that the first surgery failed. So they had to go back in and do another one a week later, and that surgery was another 6-7 hours or something. So yeah, she's been through a lot. Warner still said she went to the better hospital for the emergency surgery. She was so lucky. She was at the surgery. She was at the same hospital for both surgeries. We were with a different hospital um, originally, and they just didn't want to give her any surgery. They were just like, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with her." For a year, they were just like, "We don't know what's wrong with her. Oh, we'll just keep trying to keep her alive." And then we went to a different surgeon and spoke to them and were like, "Hey, she's getting very ill. We have to do something about it." And that doctor, when we saw that doctor, he put her in for surgery 3 weeks later instead of waiting a year. So he was a good doctor. He's the one who did both her original surgery that failed and the corrective surgery. But the surgery failed because not because of the doctor. The surgery failed because she was so ill. She was so ill that she couldn't heal. So, like, her body didn't have enough energy or health to be able to like heal the cuts and things that they did. So the surgery failed. And then they had to do another surgery to try and get her to keep her alive, basically. So yeah. Kathy said, "Can you choose your doctor and hospital?" Yes, we can. Warner Steele said, "I knew it was something like that." Yeah, so it's been a mental year. Kim says, "Insurance determines hospital here." Sort of here. It depends. You can choose any surgery, but it depends where your surgeon is. So if your surgeon only practices at, 2 different hospitals, then you have to have it there. So a surgeon might practice at a public hospital and then a private hospital, to do both types of clientele. So it depends what surgeon you have and where they practice and that type of thing. So it depends. Our surgeon practices at one public hospital and a different one that's a private hospital. Mrs. Ping can go to either because she has private health insurance. So she can either go to the private hospital or the public. Warner still said the first hospital waited too long. Yeah, the first hospital, I think I can tell this story now. I don't think I've told it since the trial. So you guys would have heard during the Aaron Patterson trial that the hospital that looked after the people for the Patterson and Wilkinson families was Monash Hospital. Monash Hospital is the same hospital that Mrs. Ping was originally under. That is the same hospitals that you hear about in the Patterson trial are the same hospital that she was with. Not like a different one, but under the same name, the same hospital. And uh, it was interesting during the Patterson trial to hear of some of the things that went wrong because we'd had some very bad experiences with the same hospital. And so when I was sitting in trial hearing all this thing from different people at Monash, I was like, yeah, we experienced the same thing with her. So, yeah, there you go. Same hospital that was for the Wilkinson and Patterson families was the one we went to originally too. All right. All right. Let's keep going about this story. We got off topic for a minute. I want to sort of know what drives a teenage child who seems to grow up in a very loving household with a mum who was ultra devoted. Like, you can tell from some of these photos just how devoted she was. She basically spent her entire time living for her children and the church. Like, she's wearing t-shirts at the Oklahoma Wrestling Academy. She'd spend all her time uh, devoting that so her children could do what they want to do and be good at it. And this is how they repay her, by killing her. And I find that so sad because her final moments on this earth must have been terrifying, knowing that these children that she brought into her home through adoption are the reason that she will leave this earth. And that must be one of the hardest things in your final moments to comprehend, that it's not because of some other reason, it's not because of illness, it's because of a choice you made to help someone. That's what it was. It's extremely sad, extremely sad. She seemed like a lovely woman, and we're gonna have to figure out why one of her children thought that this was the only way to do things. I mean, 17 and 16, almost adults, right? Almost adults. And they treat her like this. To put her in a bin, like you saw in the thumbnail, we put a bin photo, right? Here's that photo. They put her in a bin like this green one right here. So they treated her like garbage. Like garbage. That's what it was, right? You put something in the garbage bin, you're treating it as if it is garbage. And that's what they did to the mom. Like, it's horrible. We could have a look. There's not a ton of details right now. I'm guessing more details are going to come out when we have the press conference. So far, we have not had one. They've done a couple sort of little ones outside of the home, but not like an hour long, that like big press conference. Nothing like that as of yet. Let me have a look. Yeah, there's not even very many articles about it as of yet. So she must not have a partner because she was the sole caretaker to the boys. Both of the boys had been adopted by her, and she was their sole caretaker. And they're saying here, yeah, Weems appeared to be a doting mother to her boys, with social media posts showing her constantly attending their high school wrestling matches and showing off a stream of their accomplishments for friends to see. I would agree that is exactly what she comes across as in her social media posts, as like, you know, devoted mom who did everything for her children. Let me see if I can find her Facebook posts. Hold on. Let's have a look. I'm sure we can find it. Let's see if we can find her. So apparently there is I don't know who's been taking photos. I want to double check that this is correct. Huh, who has been posting this? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to bring up a photo for you guys. Here's a photo of her son. I want to say that it's correct. There's her child, one of them anyway. And if we go here, some people are saying this is the same kid, but I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know if that is the same child. People are saying this is him, but I don't know. Let me look further. Let me look further into these photos and see if we get a better representation. Um well, I found her Facebook post. Here we go. And let's see what we have on the page. So New Year's Eve with her friend. I don't know what that is. A lot of people wishing her happy birthday. Don't know if these are her children or. Let's have a look. I reckon that photo isn't him. I reckon those photos are not her children. Let's see if we got any more photos. Hmm. There's at least one of her children here. Yeah, that's the photo we saw in the news, but they have redacted it in the newspaper. I don't know about those other photos. I think that might be someone trying to cause trouble online. She doesn't post. This is from like 2023. Hmm. All right, let's go back to the top. I'm not sure, guys. There is a lot of photos. I'm not sure. It doesn't like she posts a lot on social media, but she tags her posts very poorly. Like, at least we know that this is one of her children here, because that's the same kid from that other photo. But I don't see like who the other kids might be. I'm guessing this must be one of her other children because like the kids holding awards and things like that. There you go. That's from her social media. I would have to say that I think that other one of the black child, I don't think that's her kid. So I think that's someone trying to race bait people online to make it seem like it's like a young black male who has done it, which if that is the case, that is disgusting and people need to knock that off. It's not fun, it's not cool. It's not like, oh, for the memes. No. That's not okay. And that's what starts things in our world that only end up with people being hurt. So don't do shit like that. Or Ping will come after you. Lindy said, in California, we depend on mountain snow for part of our water supply. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. It's almost like super fresh glacial water. Like, on those water bottles that you buy, and they're like, comes from a glacier in Iceland. And you're like, really? And they're like, no, it comes from a bottling plant in Pennsylvania. And you're like, oh, okay. I really did think it came from an iceberg in the ocean. SPR said, "What if it was the same hospital? No wonder you couldn't talk about it." SPR says, "What? It was the same hospital. No wonder you couldn't talk about it." I would love to hear her story. Yeah. So if you remember during the trial, I kept saying there's things I can't talk about the hospital, and that's what it was. Is that was the same hospital that Mrs. Ping was at. Espion said, "Why is it always duct tape and garbage bag for kids and bins for adults?" I don't know. It is a bit of a running theme, right? It is a bit of a running theme. I don't know who that other like people posting these other things about the woman. People providing these photos, none of them have her in it. They're just random photos of like young boys that you can't relate back to her, so people just being stupid, I think. um let's have a look here. Hmm. Like, this is the post that they put up with that other child, and I'll show you why I don't know about it. That other screenshot I showed you, this one here, I know this is in Spanish here, but I don't know if this is like someone photoshopping all this, because when she did have a post on her Facebook with that hashtag, but it was a completely different post. Like 1,000% different. Here, I'll show it to you. So I have a funny feeling that maybe it's someone not doing the right thing. Yeah, let me try and find it for you. Let me go back to her Facebook. Where is it? Yeah, Spring Weems. She had a post which had the same hashtag in it. And I'll try and scroll down and see if I can find it. Let's have a look. So it seems like one of her kids is called Ashton Weems. This is a Facebook account for at least one of the sons, and says lives in Edmond, Oklahoma, and apparently he last posted in 2021. But that is the kid we see in that other photo. So I don't know. I just think it might be someone, being inappropriate. But at least this one is definitely one, Ashton. And she references that name in her Facebook post a few times. She references an Ashton kid. Now, let me go over here. Yeah, let's go to recent. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Anyone else. It seems to be the one person just posting about this, and I see some other true crime content creators who are posting about it, but they're not using those photos. So I would go with my community and say that if they had those photos and thought they were related, that they would be using them as well. So it is a very sad story um, to have children like that. I still think it's a tragedy to adopt children, spend your life as what seems like a single mom, and raise all these kids on your own, and then just devote yourself to them is awfully sad that the way she ended was by the kids that she tried to help. And I see so much tragedy in that. Yeah, okay. So someone is just being an absolute someone's being just a wanker. Yeah, let me show you why. So did you see how those people were posting like young black males? I found the original post here. That kid in the handcuffs with the prison uniform on is a double homicide suspect called Elijah Campbell. Not anything to do with Spring Weems. Nothing to do with it. Here you go. So people on Facebook race baiting other people, which is stupid. Hey Astro, how are you? Was he and the victim having an affair? I don't think it's that type of story. I don't think it's like those teacher ones. I don't think it's like when, we have these stories where teachers, um, that type of thing. There's a good interview on Instagram. You'll have to send it to me. Let's see. Espeon said, here in Bozeman, Big Sky, Helena, Continental divide provides a lot of the water for the rivers. So if we don't get snow, no one gets rivers. Ah, you don't get a river if it doesn't snow? Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. And you've had no snow this year. You might have a drought. Strange. Lots of tats. Wow. True. Okay, thank you. Let me have a look at the email. It's from Coco. I think that's the one we were just on this particular article. Let me see. Yeah. We already did this one. Hold on, I'll go back to it. Should be here. Where's my Coco thing? Here.
Incredibly sad story.
49-year-old Spring Weems was found dead inside of a trash can in this Logan County neighborhood Wednesday.
We're still looking into the exact motive, why this occurred.
It was near Bryant and Simmons Road. Deputies were initially called for a welfare check from people who had not seen Spring lately.
When deputies showed up, both teams were there on scene. And so when deputies continued to talk with them and learn more about maybe what had occurred, they were able to basically piece together that the woman was not there.
Yeah, and after deputies left this area, one of the neighbors who didn't want to speak on camera told me that she actually saw the two teens fighting in this yard behind me, and one of them told her that the other actually killed his mom. That's when she called deputies back out.
As they further searched is when they found her.
State agents say the accused killer was her adopted teenage son. Neighbors here telling me off camera it was truly a tragedy and she didn't deserve to die like this.
It's a close-knit group, and it's a neighborhood as well where something like this has not happened before. And so I know I left a lot of people in complete shock.
A close friend of Weems tells me she was a bright light who lit up any room she entered. She was fun and was dedicated to the things she believed in. If she committed to something, she would go above and beyond for the cause. And that teen now sits in the Canadian County Juvenile Facility. State agents tell me that's the best fit for him right now. He sits in there on a first-degree murder complaint. Reporting in Logan County.
I like the bit at the end where they said, right now. That tells me that they may seek to hold him accountable as an adult. So they may actually look for him to be charged and then moved to an adult prison, which is becoming a bit of a trend in different states in America where people who are just below the age of 18 are starting to be held accountable for adult crimes, things like murder. And they're starting to like now push to have these younger people not sent to juvie and out in 5 years for killing someone, that they're starting to put them into an adult prison and it's like 21 to life, which is what the community has been demanding for a long time. So Kelly said Sarah Grace Patrick is only 17 and in solitary prison right now. There is a lot of them. We had one last year called, I can't remember, but there was a young girl who was killed by an ex-boyfriend, Trinity Bostick, and her killer ended up being charged as an adult and was put into prison in a adult prison. SPR said, Coco is the name of the mum whose son broke into my house, blackout drunk looking for his girlfriend. Weird. I hope that doesn't happen to you again. So, the Oklahoma state authorities are now looking for more evidence, and there was a not a satellite photo, but a helicopter photo that I wanted to show you if I can get it for you. That's not it. There was a really cool helicopter photo of the scene of the crime, and I want to bring it up. Let me see if I can find it for y'all. Here. So that trash can right there, you can see the evidence tent that they put over the top of it, and that is where they found her body, inside of that green trash can. And just on the street, decided to put their mum out for rubbish pickup. Did they, the scary thing is, had that actually been picked up by a rubbish truck, they may have got away with it. It is so hard to find human remains in the rubbish once it gets to the dump. It's not easy. And they may have been hours away from actually getting away with it. Maybe not forever, but for a period of time, longer than just 1 or 2 days. So, is that what it is? A compost one in Australia? A green bin is for general rubbish. So I don't know if that is a compost bin, but down here, a green one would be for your everyday type rubbish, not compost. Yeah, so a very sad story. I think the OSBI is going to give a bigger update probably tomorrow sometime, and then we'll be able to revisit it and find out more facts about what happened to Spring Weems. We'll have to find out then. Right now, this is all the information we have. We just know that within the last couple of days, allegedly her son has killed her, and the crime has been uncovered because the two of her children were fighting, and the cops were called, and they end up figuring it all out. Yeah, police were called to a quiet street in Cascada Falls neighborhood after a fight involving a weapon broke out between her two teenagers. As officers broke up the fight, one youngster told officers that the other had killed his mother and placed her body outside in a trash can used for trash collection. Sheriff deputies searched the home and found Weems' body. She had suffered injuries that were suspicious in nature and consistent with homicide. Weems lived alone with two teenagers at her home and is understood to be their sole guardian. And that's all we know right now. And that her son has been booked into juvenile detention for now. So we'll have to wait till tomorrow for the OSBI update. There was a couple of crimes that I want to show you as well. Have you guys been hearing in America about this teacher? There is a teacher in Australia who fathered the child of her victim. And she's been in court the last few days down here. And I wanted to know if you guys had heard about it. I'm just going to try bring up the article about her. Yeah, she's either about to give birth or has given birth to the child. Where is she? Here she is. Her name is Naomi Craig. Naomi Craig. Let me take you out there to this story so we can have a chat about it.
Perth teacher who police believe gave birth to her student's baby after repeatedly sexually assaulting him has admitted to the shocking sex crimes. Naomi Craig pleaded guilty to all 15 charges. Cassidy Moscone reports.
Good afternoon. There was no sign of Naomi Craig in court today. She was given special permission to appear via a phone link on medical grounds. We heard her repeatedly say guilty, Your Honour, to every shocking charge against her. The 33-year-old was first charged with 3 offences by detectives from the Child Abuse Squad back in December. Since then, she's given birth to a baby. Police say a DNA test was done and believe the former student is the father. Craig taught at Frederick Irwin Anglican School. It was revealed in court today the boy she assaulted, a former student, was just 12 and 13 years old at the time of the offences. Craig now faces a total of 15 charges and admitted to every one of them: sexual penetration, persistent sexual conduct, possessing child exploitation material and indecent dealing.
Child sex offences in our community are absolutely heinous. I think it shocks all members of our community, and this is no different.
The Education Department confirmed Craig's teaching registration has been cancelled. Craig remains at home on bail. Her case was fast-tracked to the District Court, where she'll appear in March when a sentencing date will be set.
So, yeah, she admitted to it all. Still she still kept the baby. And it's crazy. So this is in Western Australia. She gave birth to a baby fathered by her 13-year-old student and has now pled guilty to multiple counts of SA. So her name is Naomi Craig. She's 33 from Mandurah, south of Perth, and she admits to penetrating the boy who was age 12 when the offences first took place. She was initially charged with 4 offences, but apparently after she was charged with 4, they added another 11 to them. The crimes took place between August 2024 and December of 2025. She is charged with multiple counts of sexually P-word of a child under the age of 13, 5 counts of sexually P-word a child between 13 and 16, persistent sexual conduct with a child under the age of 16, possessing CSAM material, indecently dealing with a child under the age of 13, indecently dealing with a child between the ages of 13 and 16 years old. All of those counts are in the multiples, so they are not singular charges. She has had multiple. The fact that they even gave her bail is amazing. Apparently, she's not allowed to have unsupervised contact with any child except her new baby. That's it. And they're saying, yeah, last week, the police commissioner, Cole Blanche, said police believed the baby the woman gave birth to was fathered by the student that she was molesting at the time. What doesn't make sense to me is how come they haven't demanded a DNA test of that child? How come that has not been done so they know for sure who that kid is, like who the kid belongs to? I find that amazing. I really do. That they're just like, yeah, okay, well, we think. What do you mean you think? In this type of case, there should have been a DNA test done like instantly. Yeah, between 12 and 13. Actually, he was 11 when it started. And so this young teenager is a father because of what this woman has done to him. The amount of women that end up in the newspaper at the moment because of this type of action, I think I hear more about women doing it than men at the moment. Rachel said, I heard Dr. Bricado say recently there is an increase in these crimes. I think I've been saying that for the last couple of years, that I believe that women offending against teenagers has gone through the roof. Women typically offend against the ages of around 11 to about 17. Males will offend at any age range between newborn to 17. Men tend to have a wider range of victims, as where the females tend to like that early teenage to just before 18. It's a very strange difference between women and men. How old was she when she started? She would have been 28. 28 when she, I think so anyway, 28 or 29, I think. I hate morning said, would he be required to pay child support if it was his baby? I don't think so. I think because he is underage, you can't force him to pay any child support. I don't know what that means. Should he turn 18, what that would mean. I think the court would probably make sure that she could not claim that. Hey, Sean, how are you? 28 with an 11-year-old. Yep. 28 with an 11-year-old. She is a sick individual. Sick. To do that to an 11-year-old. I don't know why these women think it's okay. Like in the last week, in the news, I have seen at least 4 other cases around the world like this. Hold on. Yeah, let me try and find the other one. There's a few of them at the moment. Not that one. There was one in America that is, I think, going through the courts right now. Hold on. Past week. I can't see. There was one in America recently. Maybe this one? There's a whole bunch. This one. This is her. I found it. So there is this one. This lady is accused of a decades-old crime in Nevada. So she's accused of attacking a kid decades ago. I'm trying to find the date. What is her name? Hold on. Let me try and find her name. There's just heaps of them. I can't seem to find it. We can play this though from KTVN.
A former elementary school employee accused of sexually assaulting a child appeared in court today for a bail hearing. Multiple family witnesses were called out to the stand today after Taji Hilson's legal team filed a motion to get her bail reduced. Opposition was filed against the motion. The hearing will continue tomorrow afternoon.
So there's that one in Nevada. There's this one, a 5th grade teacher. If I can just pause this and get rid of that. There's this one. This is Sydney Graff. We've talked about her before. This one, what place is she from? She's from Jefferson County in Louisville. She is accused of doing it to a 5th grader. And then there's another one. There is McKenna Kindred. McKenna Kindred. She might be one of the most depraved. Let me try and get McKenna's one up here. Come on. This one, McKenna Kindred, apparently had a 3.5 hour sex marathon with her underage student she taught at Central Valley High School, and did this behind her partner's back. That's her partner right there. His name is Kyle. They are from Spokane. And weirdly enough, he is still with her. Still with her. Did not break up with her, and continued to stay by her side even against the allegations against her. I think it takes a very stupid man to stay by your partner's side if you did that and be like, oh, look at my lovely wife. I would not want to be within 5 feet of her ever. She is a criminal and she offends against children. I mean, there is no excuse for all these women. They're just everywhere. I don't know what is going on or why this is such a big outbreak of it. It's I don't know. We need a university study into it. That's what we need. We need a look at to why women are offending at such a high rate against their students. Why is that happening so often? It's really crazy. And these are just the ones I could find from recently. There's thousands, thousands recently over the last few years. He's a simp, definitely. He needs to grow some balls and get rid of her. Hey Alex, how are you? Disgusting? I agree. I agree with you. Laura said, what in the world is wrong with these women? They are so stupid, the damage they are causing. I think what is more awful is that a lot of these women are getting off with no charges. There was one I read about yesterday. She got off with probation. Had to be an SO for life, but she only got 5 years probation. So after 5 years, she can do whatever she wants as long as she stays on the register. That's it. Probation. And her one was like a years long grooming of a child, and they gave her probation. It's never heard of anything like it. This lady that we're seeing here, Kindred, she was 23, 23, and she was sending the child messages, things like, I'm glad I could satisfy you. What? I'm glad I could satisfy you to a child, to a 17-year-old student. These women, I mean, it's crazy to me. It really is. Let me see if I can take you to a news thing about her. Hold on. Yeah, let me take you to KREM news.
New tonight, a former Central Valley High School teacher facing several charges tonight, accused of having a months-long sexual relationship with a male student. Graham 2's Kyle Simchuk is looking through the newly filed court documents tonight. The Central Valley School District says this teacher was immediately placed on leave when these allegations came to light back in December. Court docs say the 24-year-old teacher exchanged inappropriate messages, photos, and videos with the student over Instagram, and the two had sex at her home. When questioned by detectives, the Central Valley High School student said he first sent an Instagram message to 24-year-old McKenna Kindred in June. Kindred was a teacher at his high school, and she responded, according to court documents. The two exchanged inappropriate messages, photos, and nude videos. The student said they also kissed and made out in Kindred's classroom when no other students were around. According to court docs, some of the messages Kindred sent to the boy include, when other girls talk about you in my class, I could feel myself getting mad. We almost got caught. And I really like being touched by you. Authorities say their relationship continued through the summer.
I really like being touched by you, and a grown woman of 23 saying that she is jealous of other high school girls. This is almost like failure to launch of a woman. She's still in her high school mode and never became an adult. That she wants to go back to her high school years because that was when she was at her prime. That's almost what it seems like. A lot of these women almost like they want to relive their time in high school. Hold on, guys. All right, there we go. Yeah, failure to launch. That's what I think it is. Who has cheesecake? You have to give some to Ping. Cherry cheesecake and ginger tea. I will take some cheesecake, please. Oh, yeah. Why? Can you close that thing over there? Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah, go to sleep, SP Mama. Good night, my friend. Good night. Have a good night. Um, yeah, there we go. Cherry cheesecake. Okay. So yeah, this woman invited her 17-year-old student and took him back to her house that apparently she shared with her husband, who is a lawyer, and her husband was away on a hunting trip. The teen later told investigators he arrived at her household sometime between 6:30 and 7 p.m. He and Kindred began kissing while watching a movie. Things escalated on the couch where the two had sex for about 10 minutes before moving into Kindred's bedroom, where they fornicated until around 10 p.m. that evening, according to what the boy said. They eventually finished and then hung out back in the living room before taking a shower. The boy finally left the house around 11:30 p.m. Crazy. Around the time Kindred, then 23, was doing this to the child sent her a message saying, "Mum, glad I could satisfy you." He called her Mum. Literally, called her Mum. That should tell you everything you need to know about this. Let me see. Kathy Lynch said, "My daughter just found out that a youth pastor involved in their homeschooling group has been having relations with a teen girl. Oh, I hope they arrest him. Hope they arrest him." So they both like to hunt, apparently. That's what it says in the article. Fornicated, like we're reading out of the Bible. That's what it says. It is what the hell. It is definitely what the hell. So we should play a game. This relatively, nice looking blonde lady, what do you think? Hold on, guys. Okay, we're going to play a game. What do you think is going to happen to this woman? Is she going to go to jail? Is she going to get probation? What do you think is going to happen to her? I don't think she's going to go to jail. I think they're going to give her some sort of crappy sentence like 3 years probation with time, I don't know, time suspended for 2 years or something. It's going to be some absolute cop out. Kathy Lynch said every male student of hers would be thinking about her. Possibly. Hey, RX girl, how are you? Nothing. Nothing. She's going to get nothing. Yeah, I have a funny feeling she's not going to get crap. She looks like her thyroid is enlarged. She may have cancer, possibly. In jail then probation. Chipmunk said, I'm not guessing. I'll stay tuned for your updates. Probation. I have a funny feeling it's going to be probation. These women never ever get anything. Very rarely do they get jail time. It's rare. Actually, I don't know. Did she get sentenced? Hold on. I don't know if this one. Oh, yeah. It's this one. Kindred avoided jail time but was ordered to serve 2 years of probation, pay $700 in fines, and register as a SO for 10 years. That's all she got for that type of an offending. What do you think if this was a bald-headed, middle-aged white guy that wore Coke bottle glasses? What do you think he would get? I think he would get 10 years in jail with a non-parole period of like 7.5 years. The disparity against female and male offending is insane. It's really ridiculous and has to stop. It has to. We can't just let women off because they're pretty. You know, we can't be like, oh, you offended against children, but you're kind of hot. We're going to let you go with probation. Like, no. Like, you're not sending a message to other educators that this is not okay. You're sending a message that, you know, ladies, you could do this and get away with it and get probation because now they have set a precedent. It has to go away. We have to stop this kind of 2 years of probation. That's it. That's all. $700 in fines for all this type of conduct that she did. Sending messages, grooming this kid, sending him naked videos of her receiving what is essentially CSAM material from him, inviting him over to her house, breaching that sort of trust between an educator and children, inviting him over to her personal home while her husband was away. I mean, I would consider this offending to be mid-range offending against children for an educator. This is not, obviously it's not high range offending. There's more severe things that could have happened, but I would consider it mid-range offending. She deserves jail time, at least a few years. If we don't send her to jail, how do we tell other people to stop doing this? Other people who might offend will just look at it and go, I could do this. I might be arrested and lose my career, but they're not going to send me to jail. It doesn't do anything to protect the children. Hey Gina, how are you? She abused a position of trust. I agree with you. I agree with you. Right, that's right. Kelly said the male teacher at my daughter's junior high was talking to students about strip clubs he visited and always inappropriate topics. The school did nothing. No, her husband, they moved to a different state and he stayed with her. SPO said probably 5 or 6 warns against this wayward woman. Yeah. Astro said she let him leave his DNA evidence inside her and she gets no time. Right. Exactly. Laura T said at the very least child endangerment, something with jail time. She was originally charged with like, what is it? the charges were pretty severe. Where is it? She was charged with first-degree sexual misconduct. That's a very strange charge to be charged with, considering it could have been a whole raft of other types of charges in this particular case. That's a very weak charge, a very weak charge. So in the state that she's from, in Washington, it's considered a high-level felony or misdemeanor, and they're saying here it is a Class C felony in Washington, often involving a school employee or a person in a position of trust having sexual intercourse with an enrolled student or minor between the years of 16 to 17 years old who is not their spouse. So it's a very specific charge for offending against children just before they're an adult. So just in those couple of years before 18. Her husband is a wussy. Her husband watched. I don't think he watched. He was away at the time. Kathy said, when my youngest started high school, within a week's time, 2 different teachers told nasty jokes. We removed him and homeschooled him. There you go. You can't trust anyone, I guess, with your children. Yeah, that guy is a simp. He looks like a simp too, doesn't he? He looks like this guy is afraid that no other hot girl would ever sleep with him, doesn't he? He looks like the guy that's almost like, oh, if I leave her, I'll never get some hot blonde again. I better keep this one because I'm scared I'll never find another. The guy has no balls at all. This guy has been castrated and the balls are in her pocket. Seriously. Because if Mrs. Ping did this, I would kick her ass to the curb. I would. If she offended against a child, I'd boot her ass out. Woman of Steel said my dad would have cared, and my mom worked for a local department. I don't know. I think it's just a charge they use. The charge just means that they had sexual intercourse. It doesn't mean that she did anything like what you're suggesting. The charge is originally worded because most of the offending is against females. Back when they wrote these laws, most of the charges were for male perpetrators against female victims. But now that we're starting to see the rise of female perpetrators doing this against male students, we're starting to see that particular charge used against women offenders. It doesn't necessarily mean that she did anything like that. It just means that sexual intercourse took place between them. That's it. So there you go. Marlene said, "Face it, you are too old for her liking." Yeah, he is, not me. I'm 17. Yeah, she's never going to be totally devoted to him. She'll, I reckon she'll offend again. I reckon she'll find a way to offend, and I just don't know what kind of guy would put up with it. I really don't. You put up with your wife doing that, really? I just think, grow up, buddy. Grow up. You need to find yourself and kick her ass out because it's ridiculous. Like, you moved state, bought a new home to protect her. Why? Protect her? Why? What for? Let her fend for herself. Because she don't love you. She was offending in your home while you were away on a hunting trip. I wouldn't trust her with a $5 note. Yeah, I'm only 17. Um, Gina says, your parents were oblivious? Interesting. Kathy says, move on, man. She needs serious help. Yeah. He probably, like represented her in court, being that he's a lawyer. I don't know if he did, but he may have. Yeah, her husband's name is Kyle. He has a very Kyle name. Let me see if I can find anything else about her. Originally, she pleaded not guilty, changed it at the last minute, but yeah, originally she pled not guilty. Let's see. Let's have a look. This is a good one. We're going to go to ABC in Arizona, where they talk about the psychological dynamics of student-teacher relationships. I think this will be a good watch for a couple of minutes.
And ABC 15 is continuing to follow up on our coverage of educators arrested and accused of misconduct with their students. As we continue to follow all those cases, waiting for trials and court appearances, ABC 15's Eleni Dow tonight, speaking with a psychologist on the dynamics of these relationships and what to watch out for.
Over the course of a month, ABC 15 has reported on several high-profile arrests of educators and a coach accused of disturbing misconduct involving students. Educators who are typically trusted to keep children safe as people look up to them.
When I drop my daughter off at preschool every morning, I am assuming I'm giving those teachers trust, assuming that they're going to do what's in the best interest of my daughter in teaching her and taking care of her and sheltering her, shielding her if necessary.
But in some unfortunate instances, educators get arrested and shock the community.
We give power to people we trust who have earned it because of their status, their education, their background, their work. They've earned it to some degree. So when someone abuses that power, it is so damaging and we feel violated.
Dr. Emily Basha, a licensed clinical psychologist, says previously, for instance, in cases between athletes and coaches, victims are afraid to speak up due to backlash.
There have been apprehensions of athletes speaking up because they're concerned of what they would lose and that they wouldn't necessarily be trusted, that their statements wouldn't be trusted.
The same could be said for students who are victims or teachers who knew the suspects that have been long trusted by their peers and fear retaliation.
There are procedural legal standards to enforce the justice for alleged sexual misconduct of any authority figure.
Basha encourages people to speak out just in case it could help another victim who otherwise may not say anything.
Have that courage, because more often than not, if somebody is abusing their power and privilege that you have granted them, more often than not, it may not just be you. There may be other people that are being harmed or deceived.
Melanie.
You know, she makes a good point that you never know. If they've done it to one child, there might be other children that they've either done it to or tried to do it to. Marlene says, remember the woman in IL with the boiling water and the cop shot her in the head? Her name was Massey and the cop just got 20 years. Yeah, I do remember her. He killed her in her home when she went to touch the pot of water and he shot and killed her. He got 20 years in jail. That's good. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, 11 hours ago, he got it. Let me just check here who this news station is. All right. I'm going to take you out to THV 11.
Well, tonight, Sean Grayson, the former Illinois sheriff's deputy who fatally shot Sonia Massey in 2024 after she called 911, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The 36-year-old mother called police saying she had feared a prowler was outside her home in Springfield, Illinois. The interaction quickly escalated when Massey, who had struggled with mental health issues, grabbed a hot pot of water, and then Grayson opened fire on her. Massey's relatives expressed relief to see justice served.
The law needs to be changed here in Illinois so that there's a greater value placed on second-degree murder here in the state. But right now, I am just overwhelmed with joy.
Grayson apologized in court, saying he made terrible decisions that night. Massey's death prompted a change in Illinois law requiring more transparency on the backgrounds of candidates for law enforcement jobs.
That is a good outcome considering she should never have died. There was another option there to make that situation sort of de-stress the situation. Here's that clip. This is right as he was going to kill her. He had his gun drawn and he said, "If you touch that pot of water, I'm going to shoot you." And he opened fire on her and killed her after, she had called the cops wanting help. And this is what she got. Instead, she got killed in her own home. Yeah, Lindy said he should have got more time. Definitely. And this guy had a history. After he was arrested, they found out that this guy had been fired from other police departments for misconduct. And he ended up working at this particular one, ended up killing a woman. So this poor lady, I fully believe, should never have died. And his sentence is appropriate. 20 years in jail. Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you can go around killing people. They said a jury in October found Sean Grayson, 31, guilty of second-degree murder for fatally shooting Sonia Massey in the face in July of 2024. The mother of two had called police to report a potential prowler outside her home, and they're saying here he was sentenced on Thursday to 20 years in prison, making a capstone in a racially charged case of police brutality that drew national headlines. Yeah, it definitely did. Ahead of sentencing, Massey's family testified about the impact of her death. They lashed out at Grayson, calling him a liar and a killer, and told the judge about the pain they have endured since her murder. Summer Massey, the slain woman's 16-year-old daughter, said it's been exhausting having to justify and explain her mother's innocence. And her 19-year-old son, Malachi, told the judge he sometimes wakes up in the morning thinking she is still alive. That is very, very sad that he still wakes up in the morning expecting to see his mom. Yeah. It definitely needed to be dealt with, and I just don't understand why they needed to have guns drawn or be inside of her home. She called for help. She called because she thought someone was outside of her home. Instead, what she got was a cop inside of her home with a gun pointed at her head. That is inappropriate. He should never have stepped foot in her home to begin with. And, he's very lucky this wasn't a different situation with a homeowner with a weapon, because the person in the home may have felt threatened and drawn the weapon and killed him. You know, there's a very, the other night we spoke of good policing, and sometimes you have bad policing. This is an example of bad policing. The other night we we're speaking about police department who figured out a child kidnap in under 8 hours. And we were saying how that is an example of brilliant policing, very good policing. This is an example of shitty policing, and hopefully people learn from this. I hope there's lessons that have been taken in by that PD. Let's see. Hey Thavi, how are you, my friend? Rachel said, I think training can be an issue too. This guy is just a bad cop. Definitely a bad cop. He'll now spend 20 years in jail. Older ladies living hookup culture? I don't think that's what was going on. Gina said he seemed completely ignorant about de-escalation. There was no de-escalation at all. It was just escalation throughout the whole thing. He didn't even try. This woman was obviously shaken too. She was obviously scared that someone had been outside her home moments before as well. You know, I think sometimes cops have got to understand that because she thought a prowler was outside of the home, she called the police. It was her call. I think, you know, maybe you got to understand that she was obviously already rattled about thinking that someone was outside of her home. She called the cops looking for safety, and instead what she got was this. And I think it's in the cop's mind, you have to understand what the situation is that you're walking into. So yeah, she definitely was. And it sort of like reminds me of the woman in the nursing home in Australia where the cop tased her and she fell and hit her head and she died. Very similar. It's a very similar sort of situation going on. That cop was also charged over the death of that 98-year-old woman, and I can't remember what happened to him. Hold on. Can't remember what happened. His name was Christian White. He avoided jail. Claire Nowland was the woman he killed. He got a 2-year community correction order. He was found guilty of manslaughter by a New South Wales Supreme Court jury in November of 2024. He was also required to complete 425 hours of community service. I know a lot of people were very unhappy with his sentence about what happened with that one. Kathy said, wow, you call the cops for help and they shoot you. Yep. Yeah, she was quite far away from him. Thavi said he did not ruin my life in the end. I refused to let him get that kind of control. Good work, Thavi. Good work. Yeah, this was the officer here, Christian White, and he shot a dementia 95-year-old woman who was suffering from sundowners at the time. She was suffering from sort of dementia and sundowners, and she would like wander around the nursing home throughout the night. And at some point, she grabbed a knife and she was toddling around. Here's the video. You guys can watch it. Here's the CCTV. And you see them, they enter, police officers come in. There is Christian White right there. And they come in, they're looking for it. And I'll show you something really funny. She's up in the corner. Do you see? So the cops come in. They're like, oh, we're looking for this old lady that's, you know, super threatening. She's up in the top corner and they don't see her. She's just up there with her walker. I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but she's up in the top sort of middle of the screen. They all walk past her and not see her. And then they take off. They're like, "Where is this woman?" And she's right there. And then you got some paramedics behind them. And then she waits for them to leave. She's very clever. Even at 95 years old, she knew to hide. And then she starts going with her walker. She's super fast. Did you see how lightning quick she is? She is definitely a danger to, I don't know to who. Look how quick she is. You could never outrun her. Look at that speed. And she just toddles off. And she look how long it took her to go down the hallway. Like 3 minutes. So yeah, there's the footage of her. I just find this so entertaining that they come in and she's right there and they're looking for her. Pretty funny. Yeah, she had a butter knife and he tased her. I always thought you could just grab a broom and just whack her hand with it and she would have dropped it. Like, she's an older woman, she's 95, and if you sort of caned her hand with a broom, I guarantee she would have dropped the knife. There was no need to tase her. And he even said before he tased her, he said something like, "Oh, bugger it," and just pulled the taser and shot her with the taser. So, yeah. Winner still said she had a butter knife and the police should never have been called. The police were called because the nurse or doctor on duty was couldn't be bothered with her. That at trial, she testified basically that she couldn't be bothered dealing with her, and it was outside of her job description to deal with Claire Nowland wandering around and being very active during the night, and that she basically had had enough of her. That's what it was. Actually, a few days before this incident, a doctor uh, at this place had lowered her medication at the request of the family because the family said every time they went to visit her, she seemed doped out, very groggy, and asleep. So a couple of days before this, they halved her medication, and then she ended up being very active all night. So yeah, there's a lot of people to blame here. I'm not blaming the family, I'm blaming the doctor. Yeah, they halved her medication, so she ended up being super awake and active. Warner still said there was no need to call the police. I know. Marlene said it's called Sundowners. Get a new job, asshats. Yeah, she definitely has Sundowners. Gail said they could have offered her something. They did. So she had a perchant for chocolates. And they actually got a few chocolates and tried to trade with her. They were like, "Do you want the chocolates? Give us a knife." But she refused. She didn't want them. So, yeah, because apparently she would walk around the building and she would go into residents' rooms and she would take their chocolates from their bench. So, inside their room, they have like a little table, and some of them would keep chocolates on the table, and she would sneak into their rooms and pinch the chocolates from them. So, yeah. Chipmunk said maybe she was being bothered or she had carb cravings. Maybe. I have carb cravings right now. Donna says dementia nurses are trained to deal with that. Yeah, I know. And it doesn't seem like the people at this particular place had very good training. By the way, Donna, thank you very much for your donation the other night. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. And I want to thank my friend Kathy Lynch, who we were talking about nice people who have supported the channel over the years. And Kathy Lynch is definitely near the top of that list. She has supported the channel week in and week out for since the beginning, since the start of the channel. Gayla said they shouldn't have drawn attention to the knife. I know. Warner still said chocolates give you more of a buzz. Yeah, I don't know. She had a thing for him. Gayla said, I just ate smoky bacon crisps. I don't know what that is, but it's 7 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. All right. We've almost been on for 2 hours, so we should start winding up for the night. Kathy Lynch says, when I end up in a nursing home, they will be able to lure me with chocolate. I will put that on your file, that we'll be able to lure you with chocolate. We'll get a white van, we'll get chocolate, and then we'll lure you into a van. All right. All right. So court is done now. We're not going back to court until the 9th. So all next week I'm free. We can do our earlier shows with on the channel. So we'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern from Monday. This week has sort of been a real all the plans we made got turned on their head all week. So I'm hoping next week will be easier. No court next week. But the following week on the Monday, I have a court day. So I will be there on Monday the 9th. Yeah. So, but I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday night. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow night, but we're going to have some fun. I may be on early. I may try to get on at between 8 and 9 p.m. tomorrow so we can get more people here to have fun, hang out before 10:30 Eastern, and we'll have a lot of fun tomorrow. Hang out with each other. All right, all right. You'll give me some chocolate? Chipmunk said, thank you for the updates. You are welcome. I'm sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I was absolutely exhausted. I have to get ready. I have to get I have to get used to it again. I have to get used to it again because I'm not used to it anymore. What? I've been naughty. It's not a different case. What do you mean it's not a different case? What? The court case that I'm doing is a completely different case to you guys don't even know about this one yet. This one's a completely different one. It's not the one we're doing in April. It is one we've talked about before, but it's not the one in April. That's Patrick Oren. That's Samantha Murphy. We're far too close. That's only like 8 weeks away. That one's already done all its stuff and all that's already been done. This is a completely different one. So, in court, it's you. What? Okay. Anyway, on the 9th, I have to go back to court. So we got another day that we have to do. But yeah, I was exhausted. I'm not used to it. So we did one yesterday. And I was so tired. I was like, how did I do this for 10 weeks? I have to get used to it again because we're going to be back at Samantha Murphy, Patrick Oren Stevenson's trial in April, late April, early April. We're going to be out there in April and it's going to be long days again, like 8 hours of court time and then doing podcasts and things like that. Are you saying I committed a crime? Nah, I just sit there and watch what they're saying. A lot of it's legal stuff. So a lot of it's things that even when I can report it to you, you're not going to hear it because a lot of it's just judge and lawyers and things like that. It's not anything you guys would ever be interested in. It's not anything juicy. So yeah, back in court on the 9th, and then next week, no court. So next week we've got the whole week free to hang out, and we do have a guest coming up. I'm still working out some particulars with this person, but it seems to be like that is going to happen. We're just sort of working out what we want to do, where we want to do it, how we want to get it done, and we will get those plans in motion, and we'll get this person on the show. We'll have a great interview with them. Warner still said, "Thank you, Ping. It's above our heads." At the moment, it is. At the moment, it is. In a few months' time, you guys will know about it, and it'll be. You guys will know everything in a few months' time. It's just the laws down here. It's just unreportable. Here, I'll show it to you. Hold on. They sent us some guidance the other day. Where is it? Yeah. Here it is. They were telling us about it. They're like, hey, you have to make sure of this and that. And this is one of them that they wanted us to look at. Where is it? Yeah. So this is Victorian law. This is law, right? So this is Section 3 of the Judicial Proceedings Reports Act of 1958. And it says restriction on publication of reports of judicial proceedings. And it says it shall not be lawful to print or publish or cause or procure to be printed or published in relation to any judicial proceedings, any indecent matter or indecent medical, surgical, or psychological details, being matter or details the publication of which would be calculated to injure public morals. Oh, there we go. But that's not the bit we're doing. It is is it which bit is it that we have to do? Yeah. Subsection 1, where is it? It just basically means this particular law here. It basically means that we can't report on anything in the pre-trial. So I can't remember which bit it is now. I'm very tired. I've been doing this since 9 a.m. this morning. In relation to any judicial proceedings, no, not that one. Concise statement of charges, defense and counter charges, support of which evidence to submissions of any point of law arising cause of proceeding. It might be this one. A concise statement of charges, defenses, and counter charges in support of which evidence has been given, submissions of any point of law arising in the course of proceedings, and the decision of the court or judge therein. The summing up of the judge and finding of the jury, that's when we get to trial. It just basically means that anything in the pre-trial and for sub judice, can't be reported on. So there you go. It just means that there is significant reporting restrictions when you are at a pretrial hearing. So in a pretrial hearing, that basically all of it, that you can't report any of it. I could probably tell you like one thing, and I might be able to tell you the judge's name, and that's probably it. That's probably all I could tell you. Yeah, so anything to do with evidence, witnesses, like expert testimony, anything like that, all has to be kept under wraps until we get done with until we get to trial, and then we can tell you more of it. Where is it? I have not heard anything more about Trisha Graff. I can tell you that there is some things happening in the background that don't directly relate to finding her, but there's some stuff happening in the background that makes it seem like we could get a resolution at some point soon. Not a resolution to finding her, but maybe who did certain things and stuff like that. So, I spoke to Max about a few days ago. Max seems to be doing okay. We probably won't see Max here for a long time. He's going back to school next week, and he won't have the time to jump here and hang out anymore. He could only do it because of the school holidays and things like that. So he's okay. He's safe, and he's going to go to high school next week or this week. Might be this week, but he's going to high school. So he's going to do his first week of high school, and yeah, he's okay. He's doing all right. Kim said, anything on the missing woman in Kansas? No. Which one is it? Is it this one? No, that's not. It wasn't Rebecca Rolbo, was it? No, it was the lady. It was the one we were talking about last night, which was Amelia Brown. I don't think so. I've not heard any update about Amelia Brown. They are still searching for information and asking anyone who might have seen her to call in to authorities. So that is Amelia Brown. This is this lady here, Amelia Brown. They are still looking for her and they haven't been able to find her. So anyone who might know where Amelia Brown is asked to contact Garden City PD and report your findings. So yeah, still no news. Warner still said no news on Max's mum. No, I don't have any news on Trisha Graff at this time. Yeah, I don't have any new news. And as far as I know, they have concluded their searches of the area for now. Just for now. They did a couple of weeks ago, and that's it. So for now, they've sort of done that part of it. As far as I know, they're still investigating in the background. So they're doing other types of investigative work. Yeah. So I think that's your update. So if you see Max in the chat, say hi, but I believe he will not be I believe he will not be in the chat or coming on to talk to us anytime soon. All right. Why did my phone just beep? Donna, that is very kind. Wait. Donna, I know she's in the chat. Donna, is that do you want to double check that? Is that right? Because I know you normally do one less than that, if that makes sense. I hope that's not the wrong amount. I hope that's the right amount. If it is the wrong amount, let me know. I will refund it for you, okay? But that's very kind of you. Thank you. Donna's been a great supporter of the channel since she's been following. I really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow though. We'll be back. Got nothing to do tomorrow, so we'll be here during the day a little earlier than right now. So we'll hang out. Gail has said, thank you, Ping. Enjoy your evening. I will. I'm going to go get some noodles. I really want some Singapore noodles. So that's what I'm going to go do for dinner. I haven't eaten all day, so I got to go eat something. I don't know if I just want to wait for Donna to come back in for a second. I just want to confirm that that donation is the right amount. Because if it's not, I want to get it back to her. Because I don't want to take more money from people than they want to give. Hope it's the right amount. Well, we'll hang out for a second. How you guys going? Can I get you a martini? Can I get you a gin and tonic? would you would you like a beer? You're going to go to bed for a few hours? That's probably a good idea. That's probably a good idea. It's only evening here. It's only 6 almost 6:30 here at the moment. 6:30 on a Friday evening in Australia. Um, I'll tell you what, here. Oh, she may have gone. Okay. Donna knows how to contact me anyway. sundaywithping@gmail.com. If she wakes up and finds out that that is the wrong amount, she can email me and I'll refund it for her. Weather on the USA East Coast. Are you guys still getting the snow? Let's have a look. Snow. Weather. Snow. Oh, you guys are getting a nor'easter coming into the east coast of America. Heavy snow, bitter cold expected as storm targets the southeast and the east coast. Keep an eye on the Weather Channel, everyone. Keep an eye on the Weather Channel. It looks like it's going to be cold again. Eventually, in like a month or so, you guys are going to be in your storm season again. You guys are going to be back into the tornadoes and um, giant thunderstorms going through the south and things like that. Yeah, possibly. I hope that's not the case. I hope that, but you can email me. I will refund it. I don't want to take more from someone than they want to give, and I've refunded people before when they've like slipped and done an extra number or done 2 donations at the same time. Some people have done that before, so she can email me sundaywithping@gmail.com and I'll sort it out for her. All right. I love you all very much. Donna, thank you very much for that donation. Kathy Lynch, thank you very much. I appreciate you, my friend. And my friend Lynn D. You guys are all amazing. Oh, by the way, people may be wondering why we don't have an ending video again. We were doing it for like a month or two and then it stopped. Get this. I found a video editor that was doing a very basic ending video for us, and I was paying her every week to sort of do it for us, add the names, that type of thing. I paid her for January, and she disappeared, stopped replying to my emails, and just took off. So we have to find a new video person to do our ending video for us again. She just I sent her a payment for Jan and she just like disappeared. So we'll have to find a new person to do the video stuff and do all the names and things like that of people who donate to the channel. So because people get a kick out of it, they love seeing their name in the end of when I finish the show and they end up doing it. So they love seeing their name in the titles. So we'll do it again. I'll find a new person to do the videos. No idea what happened to our video woman. Yeah, I mean, yes, I normally pay at the end, but I offered that I'd give her a little bit upfront each month to help out. Not all of it, but I give her some of it. Yeah, we're looking for a we're looking for a video editor. And when we go to trial, we'll be doing a lot more video editing because we're going to actually stream out the front of the courthouse. So out the front of the courthouse, we're actually going to be doing some live streams out the front. So you guys can talk to me at the court. You'll be able to see me out the front of the courthouse and you won't have to wait for me to get home to tell you things that have happened in court each day. You'll be able to see me out the front and we'll do it like that. All right. Good night, everyone. I love you all. Have a great Friday. Have a great Friday if you're in America. If you're in Australia, have a great Friday night and Saturday morning. And I'll see you in the afternoon on Saturday. All right. I love you all. Good night, everyone. Bye.